Hey everybody, I'm sorry, I've not been YouTubing much at all lately. It's just, life has been getting in the way of things. Got a lot of projects going on, as always, and I'm currently finishing up more of these antique coffee roasters. But I have this AC motor here that's been restored by some boys up in Ohio, and it actually has, if you can see that there, it says The Royal. This is actually a matching AC motor for those vintage coffee roasters. But I've been learning some cool new stuff. This is like, I think they call it like a forced start induction run motor. It's an AC motor, but if you look down in there, it's got motor brushes, kind of like a DC motor. And these things are really fascinating. So this is some 100-year-old technology right here. This is straight out of the 1920s. If I bump the switch, you can see it is turning clockwise from the front, right? Now, the wiring is fixed. You cannot reverse the wires on this. If you do, it's still going to spin the same direction. You can't do any of that. This is not like a modern AC motor where you flip the red and the green and it changes direction. Instead, you've got a timing tab. If you look way in here, you see those little lines? And you see this little tab right here? Kind of reminds you of like the old distributor adjuster for a Model T. What you can do is if you take this and you slide it over, you got to loosen up all of your little motor bolt screws here, like the through bolts. So I'm going to try to hold up the camera while I do this. Might be impossible. But what I'm going to do is just take a little flathead and hammer it and gently pry this over right here to where it hits this other timing tab. So you turn this like, I don't know, about 15 degrees. So now if you zoom back in, as you can see, I've moved it over to this other little timing mark right here. Now, when we bump the motor, now if you look at it, it is spinning counterclockwise. Isn't that crazy? So you actually can reverse the directions of these motors without touching the wiring at all. See, I did not know this at all. I was thinking I gotta get into some kind of circuit board, blah, 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 whatever. But again, this is something I've never touched one of these things before. And I was able to find some old forums from like 2007 explaining these things, and they are just the coolest little motors ever. That it's got timing marks, kind of like an old distributor, and I guess based on the way the motor brushes are oriented with your little copper tabs there on your rotor, that affects how it's going to start. So if you change it just a few degrees, it makes it reverse. This is just one of the coolest things ever. But I just wanted to share this with you because I just thought this was so neat. So until we meet again, stay gold.